increasingly since September 11th, and I haven't seen any reduction in that. We have reduced rather by.
Hi guys, so I have two different cups with some colors that are like primary colors. Those are primary colors, I guess you would call them primary. And these are a little more neon colors. So I'm going to cover this Pink Panther barf, and I'm going to pause this to get the base coat going, and then I'll be back and show you what's up.
It was a conspiracy. Yes, there were some people who believed it was happening. Yes, there were academics who could say this was technically possible. Yes, there were technologists who went, this is something that could be done. The Google Chrome browser.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour the first set of colors in this one, like so.
In the last few years. It hasn't gone far enough. The problems still exist. And in some ways, they've gotten worse. But we have made progress that would not have been possible if we didn't know what was going on.
Related question, what today can the government do to your phone and your laptop, the phone and laptop of any American? What's the extent of the government's reach if they're determined to reach into your life?
And then
this question for hours.
Gonna take
Brian, but we don't have time, so I'll try to summarize.
Let's see.
Hacking has increasingly become what governments consider a legitimate investigative tool. They use
How about we go
the same
around
methods and
it
techniques
with
as
the
criminal
other one,
actors.
like
And what
this.
this means is they will try to remotely take over your device. Once they do,
Or we'll do a traveling tree ring
by
around it.
detecting a vulnerability in the software that your device runs, such as Apple's iOS or Microsoft Windows, they can craft a special kind of attack code called an exploit. They then launch this exploit at the vulnerability on your device, which allows them to take total control of that device. Anything you can do on that device, the attacker, in this case the government, can do. They can read your email, they can collect every document, they can look at your contact book, they can turn the location services on, they can see anything that is on that phone instantly and send it back home to the mothership. They can do the same with laptops.
So there's that.
The other prong that
It's got some really cool stuff going on in it. Then we're going to twist this and see what we
They can
get.
simply ask Google for a copy of our email box, because Google saves a copy of that. Everything that you ever typed into that search box, Google has a copy of. Every private message
Let's hit it with
sent on
torch.
Facebook, every link that you've clicked, everything that you've liked, they keep a permanent
Actually,
record of. And all of these things are available.
Let's just
not
let it do
to
its thing for a minute.
to our governments,
How
as
about
they are
that?
increasingly
I don't know.
deputized as sort of miniature arms of government.
What about enabling your microphone, camera?
If you can do it, they can do it. It is trivial to remotely turn on your microphone or to activate your camera, so long as you have systems level access. If you had hacked someone's device remotely, anything they can do, you can do. They can look up your nose, right? They can record what's in the room. The screen may be off as it's sitting on your desk, but the device is talking all of the time. The question we have to ask is, who is it talking to? Even if your phone is not hacked, right now, you look at it, it's just sitting there on the charger. It is talking tens or hundreds or thousands of times a minute to any number of different companies who have apps installed on your phone. It looks like it's off, it looks like it's just sitting there, but it is constantly chattering. And unfortunately, like pollution, we have not created the tools that are necessary for ordinary people to be able to see this activity. And it is the invisibility of it that makes it so popular and common and attractive for these companies. Because if you do not realize they're collecting this data from you, this very private and personal data, there's no way you're going to object to it.
What about its ability to track its owner? And talk to me specifically about the case of Jamal Khashoggi.
So in the case of Jamal Khashoggi, this is a Washington Post reporter and a primary critic of the Saudi regime. He was lured into the Saudi Arabian consulate in Istanbul, in Turkey. And while his fiancée waited outside, for him to get the paperwork he needed in order to marry her, he was murdered by the Saudi government, allegedly on the orders of the Crown Prince. Now, we have to ask ourselves, how did the Saudi government decide that he was worth killing? How did they decide when and how they would kill him? How did they know this opportunity was going to arise? How did they know what his plans and intentions were that they needed to stop from their perspective? We don't have evidence that his phone personally was hacked, unfortunately, because we do not have his phone. But we do have the phones of his friends who are living in exile in Canada. And we do know, thanks to the research of a group called the Citizen Lab, affiliated with a university in Canada, that their phones were hacked, which means their conversations with Jamal Khashoggi were intercepted, and this allowed the Saudi regime to know that he was intending to create an electronic protest movement. They didn't need to know from his friend's phone, or even from his phone, that he was traveling to the consulate because he had to make an appointment. But it did tell them his private intentions, his hopes and dreams for a different government for their country. And perhaps, although we do not know for sure, on that basis, they decided to murder him. Once your phone is hacked, what is in their hands is not simply your device, it is your future. It's important also to remember, how did the government of Saudi Arabia manage to hack these people's phones, which are modern phones? Critical infrastructure that all of us rely on, the phones in our pockets. They primarily target devices such as the Apple iPhone. And they sell this capability to break into phones of people around the world for millions and millions of dollars to some of the worst governments on earth. And the only meaningful oversight that they have, unfortunately, because the export control laws for these kind of digital weapons are extremely weak in Israel, is their own.
So I'm gonna get, I'm gonna grab my torch real quick, see what we get out of this.
What about the public attitude held by millions of everyday Americans? All I've got on a computer is...
This one's a little different too, I have to say. I'm not sure how it's going to turn out, but we'll see.
Prevalent in a ton of American cities and overseas capitals. Those cameras are your friend if you're innocent and have nothing to hide.
Well, I'd say that's very much what the average Chinese citizen.
So I don't want to over torch it, I also don't want to burn it, but
we see how these same technologies are being applied to create
see
what they
what we
call the
get.
social credit system. If any of these family photos, if any of your activities online, if your purchases, if your associations, if your friends are in any way different from what the government or the powers that be of the moment would like them to be, you're no longer able to purchase train tickets. You're no longer able to board.
okay, so my camera was running out of space apparently. So just wanted to bring you guys in for a close-up. Sorry about the glare.
Ready for some good news, kids? You can skip school and protest climate change. Yay! New York City says 1.1 million students can skip school. School districts are trying to decide what position to take after New York City announced that public school students could skip classes without penalties to join the global youth climate.
There, that's better.
Listen, kids haven't changed since I
Isn't that pretty?
any excuse not to go to school. I wish they would have had grandparents' day off when I was in school.
We'll see how it turns out.
Climate anxiety
And I'll show you the drawed results in another day or so.
the country as activists seek to stay engaged while grappling with feelings of frustration and hopelessness. At a recent festival where they had dance.
And the neighbor's yard. I'm not really trying to fuck with him though, you know what I mean? You